Welcome back to Wake Up, Catalyzing Consciousness, a series of conversations with friends and associates who are working on the frontiers of the human consciousness movement. And today we're actually sitting with a couple of different friends. So we're going to be interviewing Janie, Michael, and we have in front of us a series of friends that are in fact essential oils. So in the recent period, I've actually taken a deep dive into this subject of essential oils. And Janie came onto my radar and we began to talk about this extraordinary field of the use of essential oils. And she raised a subject that I had never heard of called PhytoEssencing.
It's called spiritual PhytoEssencing.
PhytoEssencing.
Yes.
So I've invited her to actually come and share her story around her relationship with essential oils. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yes, spiritual PhytoEssencing is a system that uses essential oils for deep soul level healing. And this system was created by a man. His name is Dr. Bruce Berkowski. He lives in Washington State.
And you've studied with him?
Yes, I have. I've studied with him since 2010. And the system, there's, I think, right now about 111 oils in this system. And when you study with him, you learn about not just what the essential oil does, like not just the chemical makeup of it and what it's used for in aromatherapy and the plant and herbal medicine, but you learn about the archetype of the oil. You learn about who the plant is, who the oil is as a divine spark.
Wow.
And in this practice, you learn about the individual oils. You learn how to work with them on a soul to soul level. So it's what Dr. B calls an I-thou level.
I-thou.
I-thou.
Uh-huh.
That you recognize the oil and the beingness that the oil is, and the oil therefore then recognizes you. So you create a communication with it. And my life is dedicated to the study of relationship and communication. And we are gifted that we can communicate with oils, with plants.
So I know many people know that in the past my work has been also around this idea of interspecies communication with the plant world, and through the technology my community called Music of the Plants, where we actually give plants a voice through music, which they become conscious of using, and then we create this interspecies dialogue. That's on a very visceral, five senses level. But you actually experience a communication level with the plant world that's happening on a non-physical level. So can you just pick a friend,
okay,
and show us or take us through your experience of that particular essential oil?
Sure, I would love to. Let's see here.
So the oils that we're using are actually from a company called DoTERRA, which is a company that I'm currently actually collaborating with. doTERRA's oils are 100% pure. So there is, in fact, a complete transparency within this company that goes from seed to bottle. So the company is in relationship directly with the farmers, for example, and also through their co-impact sourcing program, having a profound effect in creating sustainable financial foundations in developing countries where many of these oils are sourced. So you've chosen...
Well, there's two actually, because I already have geranium on my hands. So I also chose lavender, which is very common. People know about lavender oil. But I'll communicate with the geranium, okay?
So to say, she had the geranium, this is the geranium, and she put a drop in the palm of her hand and just rubbed them together, and then inhaling the oil, that begins your experience.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a proper way that I was learned. Well, there is a way to inhale oils that I was taught, which is basically you apply the oil. You never rub it. You don't rub. You apply it and you press, like you sort of like hold it in your hands, like the oil, and it spreads out through the skin, and then you empty the air out of your lungs, and you take an inhale through your nose. And you exhale without blowing back onto your hands. Okay? Now, the first impression I get about geranium oil is that it is extremely good for hormonal balance. Like, it's extremely good for the ovaries, the ovaries and the uterus. This is an oil that can move us towards sexual harmony within ourselves, within our relationships. You know, the communication is very much about how to use the oil in such a way that it moves you towards truth, towards expanded consciousness with yourself and the people in your crew, in your sphere. And I get a very clear sense of actually the archetype. So this is the archetype of sexual balance, the archetype of...
So describe this archetype. So do you get a visual of the archetype?
I see the ovaries, and I see the positive and negative signs. I see the color red. And I feel a sense of like groundedness, like standing on 2 feet, balance. It's this balance. This is how the oils communicate to me, with me. And when I make a blend for somebody, I do a complete intake. You know, I talk to them about their history, their familial constellations, their sometimes deepest traumas or deepest fears, what they like to do creatively. I get a whole picture for who they are, a whole picture of who they are. And when I work with my oils, the oils, I have reference guides that I use, but I smell the oils and I think about the case, and then very slowly a group of anywhere between 15 and 20 oils start to reveal themselves to me. And then I make a customized blend for this person. And it is a portrait of them in oils.
Wow.
So, and what the science, this is an art and a science, and it has a bit to do with homeopathy, which says that the cure is in the disease is in the cure, right? So when you make a blend of fragrance, a blend of these divine sparks, and you can paint a portrait of a person in that, and the act of inhaling it, and you also, very often I'll get exactly how a person should use it, whether they should put it in a foot bath or what area of their body to place it on, how many times to inhale it. It's like having a mirror of them, a mirror of their true self.
A mirror of
the person, of who they really are. And so by using it and inhaling it, it moves them towards self-actualization. It moves them towards creative, free expression. It moves them towards being really, truly who they are.
And so this is a practice for someone. If you create a blend for them, you're inviting them into a practice of actually connecting with self on a higher level through the oil.
Yes.
So I'm interested in the, many gardeners, many people who work with the plant world understand that there's a diva of each species of the plant world. Do you have a sense that part of what you're connecting to when you actually connect with the oils is connecting to that diva of that particular species of plant? Or is it on a different level, do you feel?
Well, I think that's part of it. There is definitely the diva or the essence that, essential oils are they're distilled, they're an essence, they're like the blood of the plant. They have all this information. You can look at it that way also. It's working with this very compact piece of information that's also very expansive, And so when I study the oils, we learn about the history of the plant and how it grows, where it grows, the story of the plant, the lore. So by the history of it, I mean, like I was saying, I think...
Oh, you spoke about the spice world, for example.
The spice world, like clove. There were these wars called the Clove Wars, and the spice trade was very controlled because whoever controlled this at a certain time controlled the spices, controlled the wealth. So all of these stories and all of this energy goes into the archetype of the oil. It holds not only a diva or diva I don't know how you say it, but it holds this divine essence to it, but it also has its own personality.
So it's been impacted by humanity's relationship with that plant for history.
Exactly.
So we could also say, though, that clove, my memory of the smell of clove is the candy, the hardtack in the Christmas bazaar at my church.
Yes.
So there must also be this aspect in the clove that's also absorbed that energy as well.
Absolutely. That the clove essence has interacted with you in that way. See, they want to communicate with us. They want us to know that they're here, and of course they want to be studied scientifically, and we need to know those things scientifically, but they also have their own story. They unfold. You can journey with them,
So when we think about journeying, we're often exposed or know people who are are using plant medicine like ayahuasca or iboga or other substances where they're journeying on a very physical level with the plant world. But these essences also hold the capacity for a journey in a potentially somewhat safer way for us.
Yeah, for sure. The first thing that these do is stimulate the vagus nerve. They help you switch or regulate your nervous system back into the parasympathetic.
So we should say, like the olfactory sense, the olfactory nerve is actually connecting into our brain, into the limbic system.
Limbic system, yes.
So when we inhale an essential oil, it's in fact affecting our entire biology, not just our sense of smell.
Yes. So the way in which I like to journey with the oils is I have blends. I have a few blends that I like to use right now. And what I do is I do my inhalations. And then my intention is just open to receive. And I do that and you really go into your parasympathetic nervous system and you relax into it. And I start to get messages and answers to questions and ideas and insights. You can really use them in the way that's, I think, a way people do use plant medicine. They use it to access consciousness, be it higher levels of consciousness or solve a problem or, I've had plenty of experiences journeying with them where I've had tremendous amounts of emotional release and clearing through blocks and traumas and things. So you can work with the oils in that way also.
And you do that practice. You work with people on that level.
Yes, I do. Like I said, for many years, I'm working in the field of intimacy and energetics. So I work with people who want to grow their skills in intimacy, and that means closeness with another, grow emotional courage, courage to be themselves, And I incorporate oils into the practice.
Wow.
Because a lot of intimacy or this I-thou relationship has to do with how well you're able to regulate into your nervous system, you know, to really receive, to pay attention, to be centered in your body, and the oils help with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, I do very much appreciate you sitting down with us and sharing your experience of essential oils, and thank our viewers for being with us. And we will, in fact, continue to have this series of explorations around essential oils as I learn more about the essential oils. So thank you for being my first guest on this level. And
thank you for having me.
Looking forward to expanding my own journey around the use of essential oils. So thank you, and thank you.
Thanks.
And thank you.
Yes, thank you.